Willy Bet is a Kenyan diplomat, corporate executive, and former government minister whose career has spanned more than 3 decades in banking, agriculture, public administration, and international diplomacy. Over the years, he has held several influential positions in Kenya's government and represented the country in key diplomatic roles abroad. However, his public career has also been marked by controversy, particularly during his tenure as Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture between 2015 and 2018 under the administration of Uhuru Kenyatta. In 2017, his ministry became the focus of a major national debate following the maize importation crisis. The scandal centered on a government decision to allow duty-free maize imports to address a severe shortage in the country. Investigations by the Senate Committee on Agriculture raised concerns about how the program had been implemented. The committee questioned Bet for issuing Gazette notices that did not clearly specify the quantity of maize to be imported or the traders responsible for the imports. While the government initially approved the importation of about 6 million bags of maize, reports indicated that more than 10.4 million bags were eventually shipped into the country. The influx of imported maize flooded the local market and caused price distortions, severely affecting Kenyan farmers who were struggling to sell their produce. Critics argued that loopholes in the importation process allowed traders to exploit the system by selling imported maize to the National Cereals and Produce Board at significant profit. In 2020, a Senate report recommended that Bet be held accountable for the decisions surrounding the maize imports and called for investigations into the matter. Another controversy arose earlier in 2017 when a parliamentary committee accused Bet of misleading the country about Kenya's food reserves. At the time, he publicly stated that the country had sufficient maize supplies to last for 8 months. However, only a short time later, Kenya experienced a severe shortage that forced the government to authorize expensive emergency imports. Some members of parliament alleged that senior officials within the ministry had collaborated with powerful cartels to create an artificial food shortage, thereby justifying duty-free imports of maize, sugar, and milk products. These allegations intensified public scrutiny of Bet's leadership at the ministry. His tenure also faced criticism over problems in the government's fertilizer subsidy program. The initiative was designed to help farmers access affordable fertilizer, but it was plagued by accusations of corruption and diversion of subsidized supplies. His office has also been affected by impersonation scams. In early 2026, authorities charged a man who allegedly impersonated Koskei while attempting to extort a 10 million Kenya shillings bribe from a government engineer. Members of parliament have occasionally criticized Koskei for what they described as administrative overreach, accusing him of bypassing cabinet secretaries and issuing direct instructions to state agencies. Some lawmakers also objected to strict travel restrictions he imposed on government officials as part of efforts to control public expenditure. Despite these controversies, Koskei has remained one of the most influential civil servants in the Kenyan government. Felix Kipataris Koskei was born on June 6, 1964, in Tinderet in Nandi County, Kenya. He grew up in a rural farming community where his parents, who were farmers, instilled in him the values of hard work, discipline, and education. Although the names of his parents and siblings are not widely documented in public records, their influence shaped his early outlook on community service and responsibility. Koskei began his education at Tachasi's primary school before proceeding to Matete High School for his secondary studies. He later joined the University of Nairobi, where he earned a Bachelor of Science degree in 1990. His academic journey continued many years later when he returned to the same institution and completed a Master of Business Administration in 2004. Koskei remained committed to lifelong learning. In September 2025, he completed a Master of Science degree in zoology, specializing in agricultural entomology, again at the University of Nairobi. Beyond these degrees, he has obtained professional qualifications from the University of New Brunswick in Canada and the University of Botswana. He has also publicly expressed an ambition to pursue a PhD in the future. Public service career. Kosuke has accumulated more than 25 years of experience in public administration, particularly in procurement and strategic management within government institutions. He began his professional career at the now-defunct Kenya Posts and Telecommunications Corporation, which was once one of the country's largest state enterprises. Later, he joined the Kenya Civil Aviation Authority in 2007, where he served as procurement manager. His work in procurement and administrative management helped build his reputation as an experienced public sector professional. Kosuke eventually moved to the Kenya National Highways Authority, where he served as general manager in charge of supply chain and support services. His growing profile in government administration led to his appointment as Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture, Livestock, and Fisheries in May 2013 under President Uhuru Kenyatta. Although his tenure ended in 2015 when he stepped aside during corruption investigations, his later clearance allowed him to return to public service. In 2018, Kosuke was appointed as a member of the Judicial Service Commission, where he contributed to legal and institutional reforms within the judiciary. Chief of Staff and Head of Public Service. Kosuke's most powerful role came in October 2022 when President William Ruto appointed him Chief of Staff and Head of the Public Service. He was formally sworn into the position in October 2023. In this capacity, he oversees the coordination of government operations, supervises senior state officials, and helps implement national policy across ministries and agencies. The office is widely regarded as one of the most influential positions in Kenya's executive branch because it acts as the administrative bridge between the presidency and the broader public service. Kosuke has also advocated for reforms aimed at improving transparency and accountability in government procurement. One of his initiatives has been directing state corporations to adopt online procurement platforms in an effort to reduce corruption and enhance financial oversight. Political ambitions. Although largely known as a career civil servant, Kosuke once attempted to enter elective politics. In 2017, he ran for the Nandi County gubernatorial seat but was unsuccessful. Felix Kosuke is married to Margaret Kosuke, and together they have 4 children. His wife is known for her philanthropic work and is the founder of the Chalan Foundation, a family-run charity established in 2013 to support vulnerable children and communities through education and economic empowerment. In December 2024, the family hosted a high-profile wedding for one of their daughters, an event attended by several notable figures, including former President Uhuru Kenyatta. Kosuke also experienced personal loss in December 2024 when his sister, Mama Esther Chebet Rugut, passed away. Despite holding one of the most powerful positions in the Kenyan civil service, Kosuke is known for keeping much of his personal life out of the political spotlight, appearing publicly with his family mainly during official events and charitable activities. Unlike cabinet secretaries, who are required to publicly declare their wealth during parliamentary vetting, Kosuke's appointment as Chief of Staff and Head of the Public Service did not involve a public disclosure of his net worth. As a result, his exact wealth remains unknown. However, he is known to own a private residence in Kamonjil village in Kasirai Ward, Nandi County, Kenya. The property has occasionally hosted official and community events, including gatherings for government officials and local leaders. Kosuke is also associated with agricultural activities, reflecting both his rural upbringing and his past leadership in the agriculture ministry. As a senior public officer, he is required to submit regular wealth declaration forms to the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, though these records are confidential unless released through legal processes. Through decades of public service, Felix Kipatalis Kiskei has emerged as one of Kenya's most prominent administrators, navigating a career defined by major government responsibilities, legal scrutiny, and continued influence within the country's highest levels of leadership.